driving in the truck with my daughter, and she says, "Hey, play this very specific song," and I could. It was just a matter of clicking a button, say, "Hey Siri, play this song," and it was playing. We live in an age to where we don't have to be tied into one specific genre, because, well, first CD I ever owned was a anthology of the Beatles, like the late Beatles. So after Twist and Shout and all their happy stuff, more of like the Long and Winding Road and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane. And so...
Oh, you're talking about the Beatles, I hear.
Yes, the psychedelic era. And so that's all I knew, not because it's the only thing I enjoyed. It's the only thing I could afford. I bought one CD. I'd saved up a long time just for it, and then that was it. And then my one friend, he had a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers Greatest Hits. So between those two albums, it was months and months and months of only listening to those two albums. Yeah. Nowadays, we can go months without listening to the same song. And it definitely affects the way that we see music, because I strongly feel that the music we listen to helps develop who we are. So you were saying when you came up from Nicaragua, you were already listening to like American metal bands?
Yes, because, growing up on a third world country, you watch all these TV shows, these movies, and you want that life, like those kids on those movies, and they have everything within reach. And you're talking about having access to music now, but there's places that people don't have access to music. I just was blessed enough to be exposed to good music by neighbors, my grandparents, my mom. So I always had music within reach. I just didn't appreciate it. My mom was big into arts and music, and we just wanted to be boys, go and do crazy things, drive underage, drink beer and smoke cigarettes, try to be cool, and you go through life and you try to go back to that. And I was like, boy, if I would have just took 6 months of music, I will have a different life.
I guess,
but go ahead.
I should have learned to play the guitar.
No, the good thing is, we were talking about the other night, like it's a luxury being able to focus on music outside of our normal jobs, but having the normal jobs to get, the income to live off of. Because it's do or die as a musician. And what you said is true. Now that there's more music, I think it's easier to get discovered by people. But it's also harder because there's so many more people who are super talented that are out there. And the good thing is, we're not trying to,
make it in the
music industry. We're not trying to live the rest of our lives on gold toilet seats or whatever Elvis did. We just want to have fun. We want to have fun. And we want to make it fun for other people and kind of just give them a creative outlet and ourselves feed off that energy we get from them. So hopefully. The main thing is we do it for ourselves, but what we really want to do is get good enough where we can give back and other people benefit from hearing us too.
I do want to say, man, just for anybody that's listening that thinks fun is not work, I have a day job that I don't have to go to as much, thankfully, because I put in some sweat equity in my younger years. But I do work 50 plus hours a week. But man, I study drumming either here or at home enough to be considered like a college curriculum. I think I put in at least 3 hours a day.
True story.
21 hours a week minimally.
It's not.
So it's fun, but man, sometimes sitting on the throne, which is my drummer's chair, sitting on that throne and reading music and playing that one 8-note beat. Not 8 notes, but it's 8 notes in a scale. But playing that same thing over again, 100 loops. Mastering it at the different beats per minute just so you got it, it's not fun. It's not playing music all the time, but it is fun when you can play the music. So,
well, and then then you come over here and you just really tear it up, and we're like, wow, because you didn't play drums a year ago.
Mm-mm.
I was shocked when I came over. What was it, a month ago? You guys were just up there messing around, playing with the recording equipment.
Yeah,
and I thought the same thing. I'm like, I didn't realize that Alban played the drums.
I didn't.
And apparently he didn't.
I didn't.
And
I
all of a sudden
I played tables and countertops with my fingers for a long time. That's called independence level 1. If you didn't know, that is musical independence, using different limbs.
It's true
to keep a time signature.
Well, it's a huge important lesson that I'm trying to teach my daughter right now. She's 7 years old, and I think I've gotten to the point where I've pounded it in her head that it's not inherent talent that gets you anywhere in life. It's practice. And I just, anytime that there's any question about how to get better at anything, I go, Ever, how'd you get better? She's like, practice. I get it, Dad. But I just keep pounding it into her because in my life, I fell prey to, I got to a certain level and then I'm like, oh, I'm here. I'm done. I don't have to put any more effort into it. And I close my eyes and blink, and all of a sudden everyone has surpassed me because I stopped putting in that effort. There's this book that I'm sure y'all have heard of. It's called Outliers, and it's just simply talking about how, there's a certain level of, physique could hold you back. Like, I'm never going to be a center in the NBA. I'm not big enough to be a lineman or a sumo wrestler, but really that's the only limitations we have. We have social limitations that can be broken, and lots of people have proven that in our lifetime. But the only other limitation is you just putting in the time. And they say, 10,000 hours to be an expert in anything? So if you think about that, if it's music, if it's writing, if it's, in my case, not making a fool of myself on a podcast, whatever it is, you just have to keep doing it, not giving up. And eventually you're going to get to the point where you're less of an idiot.
Well, that's
that endurance part.
That's a nice way to put it.